What's up guys, it's Living Survival, and today I'm going to show you how to build a bug out bag, so stick with me. Alright guys, so what is a bug out bag? A bug out bag is basically a survival kit, preferably in the form of like a backpack or something that you can carry with you on the go, but basically a kit that you pack with items to allow you to survive for several days and make that time more comfortable in the event of like a natural disaster, something like maybe a fire in your neighborhood where you have to displace for a couple days, something like a flood or a hurricane, you know, a Katrina for example, where you're stuck maybe at your house or on your roof or something like that. You want these items to make your stay, whether it be in the wilderness, in an urban environment, or even in a situation where you're, you know, at a Red Cross camp or something like that, you want to make that stay more comfortable. So the bug out bag is also commonly called a 72-hour bag, and you know, that's just it. You want to survive for 72 hours, 3 to 5 days, things like that, until you can be rescued or until you can go back to your home. You're going to want to have a pack that's ready to go, that you keep in a certain spot that you can grab it and go should the need arise. I just want to say that obviously the items in your pack, although there's several standard, you know, type items that you want to carry, and we'll go over those, it is going to be personal preference. It is going to be mainly dependent on your environment, whether you're in a warm climate, a cold climate, you know, rough terrain, easy terrain, woods, urban. It just depends on your environment, and the items in your pack will not only change with the environment, but they would also change as the seasons change. If it goes, you know, from summertime to wintertime, for example, you're going to want to update the items in your pack. So by no means is this exactly what you should carry. The point of this video is to give you guys some options and show you what I carry in my environment. I'm in the eastern woodlands, so my typical situation would be either go to something like a Red Cross camp in the you know, event of a catastrophe. Maybe I'm going to locate at a friend's house for a while. Either way, the items in this pack are going to help me be more comfortable and help me sustain myself until help arrives or the threat has passed. So you definitely want to look for something that's considered a 72-hour bag or a 3-day pack, like this Gray Ghost Gear Legacy 3-day pack that I have here. Something that has high quality materials that's not going to come apart on you, definitely when you jam it packed full of stuff. Something that has nice high quality zippers on it. Webbing is really nice so that you can attach extra pouches and things like that, extra panels to the outside of the pack, freeing up room on the inside of the pack. You can also hook, you know, carabiners and things like that on there. A lot of them will come with D-rings and things that you can hook and lash things to. Another very important feature of a bag to look for is a nice padded back, as well as nice padded shoulder straps. These are fully adjustable, so you can, you know, totally adjust it to your body. Another nice feature is to have a hip belt so that you can free up some of that strain on your shoulders and your neck. A good quality grab handle is definitely a must so that you can basically just grab this thing and go, whether it be out of your car, out of your closet, or on the move. You can just set it down and pick it back up with a nice high quality grab handle. A lot of these packs will have a hydration sleeve or a hydration pouch, and they'll have holes up top that you can stick the tube through and run it down the one of the shoulder straps, which makes it really nice. And then you want to look for something that has, you know, versatility in its compartments. So different compartments, whether it has an admin compartment on the front, different you know, zips and things like that on the inside. All packs are going to be a little bit different, but you know, I really like this 72-hour bag from Gray Ghost Gear. Another feature that I like about it is that it's really wide on the bottom, so you can actually fit in there a full sleeping bag. And there's actually a sleeping bag in here right now because it tapers wider at the bottom, which is really nice. I've seen that on a couple other packs. So speaking of, you know, pouches and accessories, the Molly webbing or the Pals webbing makes it really nice to be able to hook different things on there. As you can see on these Gray Ghost Gear pouches here, that they just have their own attachment system. And basically you just feed that through the Molly and clip them in and you're good to go. And you can attach or detach these as needed. You know, I might put this ammo pouch on the side and put a couple of these utility pouches on the front. But basically what that's going to do is free up room on the inside of your pack, which makes it really nice. A lot of times you can get these packs in different colors, whether you want to go with more of an urban, you know, civilian look. Maybe you want to get a black or a red one, or, you know, something like that so you don't stand out. Or you can definitely go with the more tactical or military look and get them in all sorts of different camo. This happens to be the new Cryptek camo, which is pretty sick in my opinion. As far as size-wise goes, I definitely look for something in maybe the 30 to 40 liter size range, and for weight you want to be probably within that 20 to 30 pounds. And again, that's just my opinion, that's what I carry, and you know, it's going to be different depending on body size and you know, your environment and things you need to take. Alright, so the first thing you're probably going to want to think about in your bug out bag is shelter. So shelter can be done a few different ways. You could carry a tent if you wanted to, although in my opinion it's just a little bit too much weight and a little bit, you know, overkill. But you do need a good way to cover yourself as far as shelter goes. So I carry a sill nylon tarp. This is basically like an 8x8 or 10x10 tarp that you can configure in many different ways to provide you cover from the elements. You could use this to wrap your gear to keep it dry. You know, there's definitely a lot of things that you can do with this, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about multi-use. So you could definitely use this as cover, could definitely use it as more of a poncho or a way to waterproof your gear. You could use it to carry things like wood. So definitely multi-use item like that. A good tarp, in my opinion, is necessary. Then as far as sleeping goes, you can definitely carry a hammock. This would be something that I carry, you know, in the spring and summertime when it's a little bit warmer out. Just string these things between two trees, cover yourself with the tarp, and you've got a nice shelter that you can survive in. So definitely a great item to have as far as shelter goes is a nice tarp and a nice hammock system. You may want to carry along something like this sport utility blanket. As you can see here, it works great as cover. It's got orange on one side, so multi-purpose use of this would be to signal for rescue. You can use it to wrap up with, as you see here. You can definitely use it to carry wood, so I mean definitely a great multi-purpose item. You can use these in front of a fire to reflect the heat back to you. So in my opinion, a pretty good idea to carry in your bug out bag would be some sort of a sport utility blanket such as that. So if you didn't want to carry something as big as this sport utility blanket, because maybe you already carry a tarp or something like that, you can carry these smaller emergency blankets. They're really small and lightweight, such as the Mylar blanket. This is basically the same thing, it's just got orange on one side. But these are a great way for covering up your gear, you know, providing some sort of shelter. You can definitely use them to reflect your body heat back to you, and also put them up in front of a fire to reflect some of that heat back. So another great option is some contractor grade trash bags. These are definitely multi-use. You can use these to, you know, collect items, collect water. You can use them to carry things with. You can jam them full of leaves to create yourself some insulation from the ground. Use it as a makeshift poncho, makeshift shelter. So definitely a highly recommended multi-use item to carry in your kits. Now as far as lashing things to your pack or tying down your tarps and things like that, you're definitely going to want to have some cordage with you. You know, 50 to 100 feet of paracord is great. I also carry some of these bungees to just make it a little bit easier to tie things up, or to mainly lash things to my pack, things I might pick up along the way. Or if I have to exit in a hurry, instead of packing everything back down, you can just simply roll it up, you know, in your tarp or something, and just lash that to your bag and go. Another option would be to carry some stakes. You can definitely make these, but you know, in an urban environment that might be a little harder. Maybe you're in a park or something where there isn't any trees. So definitely some stakes to help you secure down your shelter would be a good idea to carry, again depending on your environment. So clips or carabiners such as these are a great way to lash things to your pack, and also secure things to maybe a line at your camp, hang things up to dry, things like that. And then you're going to want some sort of a sleep system. So I just carry a kind of an all-season sleeping bag. Again, I can fit this down in my pack. If I had too many things in my pack, I could lash it to the bottom or lash it to the outside. So you definitely want a good sleep system. Even with a hammock, you know, you can put the sleeping bag in the hammock, cover yourself with the tarp, and you're good to go. If you want to be a little bit more minimalistic, maybe you're in a really warm environment, you could definitely get by with something like an emergency blanket or a bivvy, but I would still carry something like a tarp to provide yourself some protection from the elements and rain. So next, let's talk about water. After you get your camp set up, or whether you're still on the move, you're definitely going to need some water. So I carry one of these hydration bladders, and if you get a pack that's compatible with these, whether it be in its own compartment in the back, which some are, or in this case, you just slip it down inside here, and there's a hook up top that you can put hang it so that it doesn't slip down, and then basically you run the tube out of the hole here on the side and down the sleeve. And these bladders usually have a bite tube on them so that you can just bite down and drink while you're on the go. Again, this will hold 2 liters of water, so definitely a good idea in my opinion to carry something like that to carry your water in. You're going to want some sort of a container, whether it be something like this stainless steel clean canteen or just a simple Nalgene bottle. This is a way that you can carry sort of a lot of water and drink it on the go. These Nalgene bottle sizes are great because you can also get part of your cook kit and it'll nest in there and give yourself a cup as well. So these will usually nest with your standard size Nalgene bottles. So another great item to have. You could also go with something smaller, such as this little stainless steel bottle here. The nice thing about the stainless steel is that you can put them directly on the fire and you can boil your water to purify it that way. Speaking of purifying water, there's definitely a couple options you have. You can use the tablets, which some people use. You can use things like a life straw, which are great to have in a bug out bag. You can basically use this and drink right from a stream or a compromised water source. Not going to help you out a whole lot if you want to refill your bladder or refill your containers. So you're going to want something such as this SteriPen, which will allow you to basically purify your water in an existing container. They do have a life straw bottle that you can pour the water into, carry it with you on the go, and it's basically got a life straw built in. So that's another option. Or you can go with sort of a filter that you can filter your water, whether it be a pump system or in this case this platypus gravity system. You have one bag with your dirty water, one bag with your clean water, and it basically will filter into that bag and then you can transfer into your bladder or into your containers. So definitely a good idea to have maybe 1 or 2 different ways to purify water. Have the tablets at the very least that you can purify your water. You never know where your water is going to come from once you run out. And also a good idea to have several options for carrying water. Alright, so let's talk about electronics. Let's say you're in a situation where you've just got your camp set up, you've hydrated yourself, and now you need to know what's going on, or whether you're on the move and you need to know what's going on. So it's a good idea to carry something like a weather radio. This will give you AM/FM radio. It'll also let you know what's going on with the weather. This particular model has a crank, so you don't need batteries or anything like that. It also has a solar panel on it that can charge via the sun. Also has a flashlight up top, so very multi-purpose item and a great way for finding out your weather in and around where you are. Obviously a cell phone's a good idea to have, however the batteries can die. But if you have a way to charge your batteries, such as this solar panel here, it does make a good option to carry and keep with you because you can keep it charged. This particular one will also charge AAAs and AA's for things like headlights and flashlights and other electronic items. You may want to carry a ham radio with you. This will allow two-way communication in the event of an emergency, but it will also let you dial into your local law enforcement, fire, EMS, public service, things like that. Again, it'll let you know what's going on in and around you. You definitely want to carry some extra batteries around with you if you do not have a way to charge your devices or your batteries, and you obviously want to take, you know, AAAs and AA's and CR123As and whatever your equipment happens to take. Another way you can keep your items charged is with an external battery backup. These are really nice because as long as they're charged, you can dump all the power in here into something like your cell phone, and it's a great way to give you, you know, an extra day or so on your electronics. As far as navigation and signaling goes, it's definitely a good idea to carry a compass with you and know how to use it, as well as a map of your area. I carry this little Michigan map, not so much in my bug out bag, but definitely in my get home bag, but you may want to include that in your bug out bag. Also a way to signal for rescue, like this signal mirror for example, or attached to another compass here I have a signal whistle. So if you're injured or something like that, maybe you broke a leg, you can definitely blow hard on one of these whistles and it'll travel a lot further than your voice will. Another good item to have with your electronics and with your signaling equipment would be just a standard notebook and some sort of weatherproof pen. This will allow you to maybe leave notes on people's cars, leave notes at other people's camp, you know, write things down that you need to remember, things like that. So a great thing to add in to your signaling and your electronics. Don't forget, you can also signal with the orange side of your tarp, for example. Would make a great thing to use in the event of like Katrina where you're stuck on a roof. Put that orange side up and you're definitely going to be noticed. Alright, so once you settled into camp and you're hydrated and you know what's going on around you with your electronics, you're definitely going to want to eat. So whether you carry food with you, and in this example I've got one of these Grey Ghost pouches and I've got it full of, you know, some hunter sausage here, and I've got a couple Cliff Bars, things like that. This is definitely going to get me through 3 days if I ration it. So in addition to the food, which will run out, I definitely carry several other items that would help not only protect me but also hunt game. So 40 caliber handgun. Now I realize the ammunition would run out, so you definitely want to have backups to your hunting kit, such as this slingshot, which would allow you to take down small game such as birds and squirrels and things like that. Could definitely get a meal if you're good with things like a slingshot. Also, you're going to carry a knife with you. A good high quality fixed blade is not only going to allow you to protect yourself, but also allow you in the processing of that game, whether it be large game or small game. As far as cutting tools go, and you definitely are going to want several cutting tools, a large fixed blade or a medium-sized fixed blade is definitely a good option. You could also carry something like a tomahawk, and these obviously come in all different sizes. But for me, I don't carry a tomahawk, I just carry a large fixed blade. You could also carry like a camp axe or a hunter's axe. Definitely a way to process firewood. Again, where I'm at, I'm just carrying the fixed blade. If you wanted a smaller fixed blade, you could definitely go with more of a bushcraft style knife. That would definitely do for game processing and processing of firewood and things like that. A little handsaw is a great idea to carry, like this Baco Laplander. Definitely a great way to saw down some larger wood that you could then process with one of your fixed blade knives. Definitely a good idea to carry a multi-tool with you in addition to your main cutting device. These are not only going to serve as a backup blade, but also has all the tools like screwdrivers and ability to pry and file and punch holes and things like that. So a multi-tool is definitely a good idea, and these obviously come in all different types and sizes. But definitely a multi-tool is a valuable item to have in your bug out bag. In addition to hunting, you can definitely also carry snares for traps if you're into that kind of thing, or if you're good at that kind of thing. Or you could carry a fishing kit if you're around a lot of bodies of water. You definitely would want to carry things like a fishing kit. Again, it's all going to be how you adapt it to your situation and your environment and your skill set. Alright, so once you've secured yourself some game, it's definitely going to be a good idea to have a fire kit. Most people in their fire kits will have some tinder. I've got some of these beeswax balls, I've got some jute twine, I've got some char cloth that I keep in my kit. Waterproof matches are a good idea. Obviously it's a good idea to carry a lighter or two, even though that can get wet and not work. These wet fires here are a great way to start fire. Pretty much in any situation they'll work, whether they're wet or anything like that. I use these a lot in my videos. And a decent ferrocerium rod is a great way to spark a fire, spark into some tinder, and get a fire going that way. As far as once you've got your fire going, you're going to want a way to cook. Now some people will carry around a gas stove, whether it be one of those MSR stoves or micro stoves that you place right on the gas and cook like that. A jet boil is a great piece of kit because it's an all-in-one. You can put your gas in the stove and everything in here. It also serves as a nice container, and you can see I just attach a spoon on the outside, so that's a great piece of kit. I use this more in my get home bag because it's more of an urban type thing. In my bug out bag, I'm going to carry a bio stove such as this Bush box from Bushcraft Essentials. You know, you can use these with just any material that you pick up in the woods. Any kind of biomaterial that you pick up in the woods. Again, you're going to need to adapt this to your environment, you know, to whether you're going to be in more of an urban setting where this gas stove would probably work a little bit better for you, or if you're going to be in a woodland setting, definitely something like a bio stove would help you cook. You're going to want some sort of a container, probably not anything this big for a bug out bag, but you definitely want to match your containers to the size of your stoves. So for me, I'm going to carry a larger stove just because it packs up real small, and I do have the ability to cook on larger pots. Maybe you find a pot along the way and you want it to use to cook on. Most people are going to carry a cup with them that nests, again, like I said, nests into a Nalgene sized bottle. You could definitely use a stainless steel cup like this to heat. You would put the trivets across here and you could heat up or boil water that way, or heat up, you know, maybe a one of those dehydrated meals. If you need to boil up some water and pour it into there, you could use that for that as well. There's all different stoves, whether it be a bio stove or whether it be something like this solo stove that comes with the stove actually nested in the container itself. So inside here you have your stove, and then your container fits on top like that. So definitely when looking for some sort of stove that you're going to use, there's all different features such as whether they nest together, you know, size and weight are going to be a consideration. But again, I think the main factor to consider is if you're going to be in more of an urban environment, or you really don't know that much about starting fires and keeping fires going and things like that, definitely a gas stove such as the Jetboil is going to be probably better suited to you. For me, since I'm in the woods all the time and I don't want to carry around gas, something like this solo stove or the Bush box is going to be my go-to item. You're also definitely going to want to throw something like a titanium spork or spoon in your kit as well. I've left home without these, and you end up using a stick or your knife or something like that, so definitely a good item to remember to put with your cook set in your bug out bag would be some sort of a utensil item like a spork or a spoon. Alright, so what do you do when it gets dark? You carry a flashlight. So flashlights are all personal preference. They come in all different shapes, sizes. Some people say that you're better off to get either a AA or AAA because those batteries are more readily available. For me, it doesn't really matter. It just, you know, whatever flashlight you like the most, like this Phoenix PD35. It does take the CR123As or an 18650 battery. However, since I'm only planning on being gone a few days, I can definitely carry backup batteries. The reason I don't really mind it not being AA or AAA is because I also carry a headlamp with me which does operate off AAAs. So with this flashlight, I am able to use it all around my camp. It's bright enough for that. It's hands-free. You put it on your head so that you can free up your hands to do anything else. And then this also, like I said, does take the AAAs, which I can recharge with the solar panel or carry lots of extras. So another good piece of kit for lighting would be to carry some candles with you. These happen to be beeswax candles. Whether you carry candles by themselves, or you can carry something like this UCO lantern here, which packs down really small, and it's a great way to light your camp up, and it lasts a long time. It'll actually provide heat too. If you have a shelter, you can hang it in your shelter and it will provide you with a little bit of residual heat. Another option for lighting would be just simple glow sticks. These are great for putting on your pack so that people can see you at night, put around your camp so you can see things like where things are located. You could even tie one of these onto a string and whip it around to signal as well. So lighting is definitely going to be all personal preference, but definitely a good idea to carry several different options as well as the batteries to keep them running. So another great item to have as part of your utility kit would be a head net, especially if you live in a buggy situation. It's definitely a good idea, and it'll make you more productive and less bothered if you have a way to control the bugs. Definitely a good pair of gloves are essential for, you know, working with wood, axe, saw, even your knives, and definitely around the fire, things like that. Gloves are a great and handy thing to carry. Urban environments as well, you know, maybe you have to go through broken glass or, you know, crushed concrete or, you know, just sharp items like that. Definitely a good idea to have some gloves. Great idea to have a roll of duct tape, or this is just a roll of Gorilla Tape. I don't even have to go through all the uses for this, but definitely a great item to have. Whether you need to repair something, you can make a makeshift sling. I mean, you can basically make anything with duct tape, so it's a great idea to have this in addition to your cordage that I showed earlier with the shelters. A shemagh is a great item to have, like this gray ghost shemagh here. Again, another great multi-purpose item. You can use it to wrap around your head. You know, maybe it's a dusty environment in an urban environment, something like that. You can definitely wrap this around your head. It'll help keep you warm. You can filter water with this. You can use it to carry things. You can make a makeshift bag with this. You can do a lot of different things with the shemagh, so definitely a good piece of kit to add into your utilities. Alright, so obviously another very important aspect of your bug out bag is first aid. So you can carry these pre-packaged kits, or you can make your own. I've made my own kind of trauma kit or individual first aid kit using this pouch here, and basically you're just going to want some essential items. You're going to want some way to stop big bleeding, so some big gauze pads, some quick clot. You're also going to want things to cover up like little wounds and things that you can get, especially if you're not wearing your gloves, so band-aids and things like that. A good set of tweezers to remove ticks or things like that in the woods. A good quality pair of shears. A Sharpie's a good idea in case you have to take notes. Some nice, some of the cloth tape is nice to have. A couple of rolls of gauze is also good, and then also aspirin and ibuprofen and you know, itch cream and antiseptic wipes are all very important to have in a first aid kit. So I also carry like some convenience or comfort items. So I carry some bug repellent. I carry these dust masks, or you know, if you're in an environment, urban environment especially, where you don't want to get coughed on or breathed on. Maybe there's widespread flu or something like that. Definitely these are good items to have. I've got some hand sanitizer, got some pocket tissue which also doubles as toilet paper. Gold Bond here, you could use baby powder, and also some hand warmers. Again, you know, fairly small size, packs down fairly small. And you know, you could definitely go without this, but in a bug out situation, definitely those convenience or comfort items are going to go a long way, keeping yourself clean and you know, keep yourself feeling as good as you can, and a way to prevent infection and things like that. So a lot of people carry things to pass the time. A lot of people will carry maybe a little game or, you know, a deck of cards. For me, I just carry this little mini survival guide. It's definitely good reading, and it also serves multi-purpose because it can certainly help you in a bug out situation, whether you need help with shelter, knots, you know, food, wild edibles, all different types of things in here that you can learn, and this will help you not only pass the time, but also improve your situation as far as survival goes. So I think the final aspect of your bug out bag would be what you carry as EDC items. There's an extra magazine there. I do carry my .40 caliber. That would be either on my person or in the bag. I usually have my sunglasses with me. Again, a good idea to have eye protection, and that would double as that. You know, a little pocket flashlight is definitely a good EDC item to have. I have my keys, and on my key ring I have another backup flashlight, as well as another little backup multi-tool. And then I would also have another backup knife, such as a folding knife, usually, you know, in one of my pockets. These items right here wouldn't break you if you didn't have them, but most people are going to be carrying, most people that are into survival anyway, are going to carry some sort of EDC item that would obviously go along with your bug out bag. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video on how to build a bug out bag and some of the, you know, options that I have in my kits. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave me some comments below, and you can also join the discussion and find out more about products and reviews, and you know, just learn about survival and everything like that by visiting worldwidesurvival.com. It's a forum we've set up to exchange information with like-minded people on the topic of survival. So make sure you head over to worldwidesurvival.com if you want to check that out. Make sure you share this on all your social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Google+. And as always guys, subscribe for more videos.